and I will share my screen. Can you see that?
I can.
Awesome. All right. Well, hi, Chris. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I spoke with your associate Brent on the phone, and he said that you had about 10 minutes for this meeting. Does that still work for you?
That works for me.
Awesome. Well, before we jump into it, I'd love if we could just go through a quick agenda to make sure it's all sounds okay to you. To start, I'd love just to, ask you some questions about your transition into this new role, as well as some of the, business goals for the upcoming year, so we can see if maybe our product is a good fit for your business. Does that sound all right?
That sounds like a plan.
Awesome. So yeah, my first question is, I saw on your LinkedIn that you recently transitioned into a new VP role. Very exciting. I know you've been at Gartner for a couple of years now, but can you tell me a little bit about how this transition into more of this managerial role is going for you?
Yeah, I think probably not a whole lot's changed, to be honest, as far as my day to day. I think they're just trying to give me a bump to keep me around. It's been a pretty stressful last couple of years, and even last few months, just extremely busy. That's for sure.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what do some of these day-to-day responsibilities look like, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much in charge of the all the back end. Pretty much everything to do with IT is rolls up to me. We don't have a CIO, so it's everything on the IT side reports to me and my team.
Awesome. And have your managerial responsibilities expanded at all? Do you have any more people that you're kind of overseeing, or is it the same team that you had before?
It's a pretty similar team to what I had before, to be totally honest. We're trying to roll out a new e-commerce, kind of platform, and so trying to cut costs while increasing revenue, which is certainly not easy.
Yeah, absolutely. So in your role, I'm curious to know what kind of mentorship do you have, perhaps from your CEO or anyone else in the company?
Not a whole lot. I technically report into our CFO, so on the more on the finance side of things. But yeah, no mentorship here internally. Google is my mentor.
Awesome. Well, so I'm assuming probably some Google is involved with this, but what is the process that you're kind of using to currently assess and research vendors that you're, thinking about partnering with?
Yeah, I mean, joking aside, it really is Google, I think, and also just kind of I've been doing this for a while. My background's more in the healthcare side of things, um, but yeah, I think I'm just evaluating vendors and trying to have a best in class IT stack while also being very cost conscious, which is important over here.
Absolutely. Is, conducting this research on Google, has that arisen any problems for you, maybe in terms of, efficiency, or bias? Are you struggling to navigate your research at all?
No, so far so good.
So far, so good. Okay. And how long would you say that you spend, researching these vendors before you can go ahead and make that purchasing decision?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of keep an eye on what's going on overall, but if I'm really actually going to make a purchasing decision, it's many hours. It kind of depends on what we're looking into. If it's a small thing that we need for security, it could be a small quick evaluation. If it's an entire new e-commerce platform, it could be dozens of hours worth of evaluation and everything in between. So it varies quite a bit on depending on what we want to buy.
Yeah, absolutely. So maybe just to be more specific onto this e-commerce project that you guys are working on, you're using Google for that. And how far along are you in this project, and especially like in the research aspect, and who you're potentially looking to partnership? How far are you along in just making these decisions?
Yeah, pretty early. I mean, there's some basic e-commerce upgrades that we need with our current solution, but I'm also using this as an excuse to kind of reevaluate our entire e-commerce contract. And they want us to double our online revenue next year, and so some of that is going to come from cutting other areas. And so we've got some work to do.
Yeah. And what do these cuts look like for your department as well as the organization as a whole?
Yeah, I'm supposed to make a 5% cut as far as my IT budget goes, which I think is ridiculous between you and I, that I need to cut my budget while growing revenue. But yeah, that's what it looks like.
Absolutely. And when do you need to have these this budget cut by? Is there any sort of a time
Uh,
here?
yeah, end of Q2. So our fiscal year's on the calendar year. So June 30th.
Okay. So that's definitely coming up. Great. Um, and then when it comes to, maybe assessing these vendors, especially with this e-commerce project that you're working on, who else is involved in these purchasing decisions? Is it just you kind of signing off these contracts, or are your CFO and CEO involved as well?
Yeah, the CEO and CFO are kind of final approval. I make my recommendations, and then they say yes or no. They trust my judgment as far as what we should purchase. The biggest bottleneck or biggest challenge is really just the actual costs. So they're both pretty cost conscious. So if it's within budget, it will probably get approved, and if it's not within budget, I better have a pretty good reason why.
Awesome. That's super helpful for me. And then aside from, launching this e-commerce project and the 5% budget cut, are there any other, big company goals that I should be aware of for you guys this year?
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of on an acquisition spree, so I'm sure there are more that are coming. We just acquired a company a few months ago, and yeah, I think just pretty much trying to grow online revenue is big priority.
Great. And then my last question is just, I saw that you attended our Gartner, one of our Gartner seminars, and I'm just curious, like, what made you interested in attending this seminar, and how much do you know about the Gartner product after that?
I don't know that much other than what was covered in the kind of in what I observed,
Yep.
but yeah, I just trying to continue to learn best in class, trying to figure out how to cut budget and grow revenue at the same time. So always interested in what others are doing.
Awesome. Well, it seems like our product could offer a lot of benefits to you, especially when it comes to some of these budget cuts, revenue growth that you're talking about. So is it all right if I jump in and show you some of these benefits?
Yes.
Awesome. So I think one of the most exciting tools that we would be able to offer you is this cost optimization tool. So, right, you're looking at a 5% budget cut by June 30th. That's coming up. And one of the really exciting things about our cost optimization tools is they're going to offer you these reports fast. So essentially what you're going to do is you're just going to fill out about a 20-minute survey. Which you will kind of integrate some of your organizational structure and your goals, like you shared with me, budget cuts, etc., for your timeline. And then the report is going to basically give you a budget comparison against competitors in your industry. So we're really lucky to have insight onto kind of how your competitors are allocating their funds. And because of that, we can see, where you guys are spending your money and where your competitors are spending your money. And so this offers you the opportunity to kind of see where you might be, have the ability to cut costs, as well as where your competitors are spending a little bit more, and where the opportunities are for sure. And then I know you said also that you're don't have a lot of mentorship in the company, so would love to talk to you a little bit about this executive partner as well. Essentially, this is going to be a CIO who is in your position, or was in your position, now work for Gartner, but have a lot of industry experience when it comes to the IT profession, and they're going to help you navigate your Gartner tools as well as anything else really that arises in your role. Do these seem like something that could potentially be helpful to you?
Yeah, I mean, depending on the cost, again, Google's done a decent job at answering my questions, but yeah, if there's a network of peers, I'd be interested in how people are spending for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's jump into this cost optimization tool then, because that seems like potentially something that would be of the most interest to you. So essentially this consists of two things. It's going to be our IT budget tool, which is kind of what I covered. It's the 20-minute survey. It's going to spit out a report to you and show you how your peers are allocating their resources and potential areas where you can cut costs. The second part of this is our vendor contract review services. And I think this is a really exciting part of the product, as most of our clients are seeing 15 to 20% savings in the contracts we are reviewing for them, right? And so for a company like you, you're talking a lot about, you know, this e-commerce project is depending on how much money you're spending on that, as well as all the acquisitions. I can assume that you guys spend probably a decent amount on these contracts every year. And if you're looking, you know, at a 15 to 20% savings, I mean, the product practically pays for itself, right? This is just an example of, you know, the projected savings for you. But if you're going to spend $5 million on a contract, you're looking at $750,000 in savings, which is, I can tell you, much, much more than the Gartner product costs. So I think it's one of the really exciting aspects of this product, and definitely a great way to work on that 5% budget cut.
Yeah, makes sense.
Does this seem like something that would add value potentially for you?
Yeah, I mean, you know, to be honest, it's going to come down to budget. So pretty tough to get things approved these days, but interested what the cost is.
Yeah, for sure. Before we jump into the cost, I'll show you the other aspect of this, which is this is basically what the report is going to look like for you for these this IT budget tool. You're going to see basically your organization here where you're allocating resources, as well as the industry averages of your competitors. And as you can see, it really goes very specific into what it's assessing here. So you can get a really, really in-depth look at your own organization as well as your competitors. So especially people in your position that are looking to cut budget quickly. I mean, June 30th, right? That's a little over a month out. This can be a really quick way to get, you know, a really in-depth overview of your entire organization and see where some opportunities may arise.
Yeah, makes sense.
Awesome. Okay, so I know you're eager to get into the pricing, but I just want to touch on our executive partner really quick, as I know you said you didn't have a lot of mentorship within your own organization. Our executive partner, as I said, is going to be an IT professional that has worked in the industry for many, many years. We match you with someone that's going to be industry specific. So for you, you know, that's someone that's worked in an IT position in potentially the wine and spirits industry. And we work hard to, you know, match you with someone that you feel like you connect with and matches your working styles. And they're going to help you navigate the Gartner product, but also just optimize your personal work performance. This includes the monthly one-on-one meetings, as well as an annual on-site workshop for you and all of your direct reports. And this is an example of one of our executive partners. As you can see, a lot of experience within the field, and he has been able to offer our clients a lot of value. All right. I know this is what you're interested in, so let's get down to it.
Sounds good.
For the year one pricing, it's going to be $50,000 a year, which includes the access to the research, cost optimization tools, and the executive partner. But that's going to be just for you. If you are interested in, say, having Brent or one of your other direct reports have access to these tools, you can license it for just an additional $15,000. And we are looking at a 3-year contract here. However, 90% of our clients re-sign and want to take on another 3 years. So I can assure you, most people aren't feeling claustrophobic at the end of you know, year 3.
Yeah, is there any flexibility there? Because that might be a deal breaker for us. It'd be really hard to get a 3-year deal done right now. Just some of the different changes we're making. So just kind of curious if you have some flexibility there.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are locked into the 3-year contract model. But as I said, we're looking at, you know, a 90% retention rate. So, you know, as daunting as it seems, most people want to stick around for 6-9 years. But unfortunately, we don't have any flexibility on that front.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that one. I do have a hard stop here. I gotta jump to my next meeting, but appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate your time as well. I would love if we could get some, time on the calendar potentially in the next couple of weeks. If you have any flexibility, as well as, if you want to invite your CEO or CFO as well. And please let me know if there's any materials that I can send over to you after this meeting that would be helpful for you to show them.
Okay, perfect. Well, why don't you shoot me an email later today or tomorrow, and we'll schedule some time for a week or two from now.
Awesome.
Does that work for you?
Yep, that'd be great.
Okay, appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you. Bye, Chris.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.